this training. My name is Shedrack, and on this training, I'm going to be showing you or teaching you what is assets and liability, and why some people are getting poorer and why others are getting richer. Now, the two of these words are synonymous and they work opposite of each other. That's I'm talking about assets and liability. Now, when you talk about assets in a literal form, it means what put money in your table. Okay. Now, assets are those things that you do that brings in money in your table, as like what put money in your pocket. While liability is what takes money out of your pocket. So that is just the two, like the primary definition of these two opposite words. Now, why some people are poorer and why others are getting richer is because of the fact that most people have more liabilities more than assets. So when you have more liabilities, that is those things that takes money out of your pocket. Believe in me, you are heading for what? Being poor. Now, you may ask yourself, what are the example of liabilities? Okay, liabilities are not far from you. One of the greatest liability is yourself, because every day you do consume food, you do eat food, you take things, you buy yourself good things that are okay for wear and all that. So this alone is a liability. So you talk about housing, where you live is a liability if you are not the owner of that house. You talk about car. Okay, so people don't know that car is a liability. Anything that you may think of that actually takes money out of you. You may ask yourself, okay, how is a car a liability? Car is a liability because of the fact that you have to service a car for you to work. You need to buy fuel and all that. Then there's a lot of liabilities that people always don't know that is the liability in a literal form. They thought is an asset. Okay, so even the phone you are using can be a liability to you if you don't turn it into an asset. Okay, so a couple of times we'll be making some training and teachings on how to utilize most of the things around you to turn it into an asset. Now you may ask yourself, okay, what is the example of assets? Now, example of an asset are those things that give you money, as I told you earlier before now, as those things that put money in your pocket. Examples are from the highest level to the lowest level is something like real estate, okay, whereby you actually buy a house and rent it out, rental property, or maybe possibly buying land and keep for appreciation. So these are called what's it called assets. Now, another example are something like dividend forms. You talk about something like shares and all that. So, but then there is all the little asset that you can actually go have right now. You talk about businesses you can do, investing your money, and then allow you to grow and give you that dividend as an asset. Now, what are those businesses you can do? You can engage in agricultural business, you can engage in digital business, such as selling of digital products, or also you can also engage in doing something like telecommunication. You can also engage in doing something like kind of digital content creation is also an asset on its own when well utilized and well presented. So there's a lot of assets that you can have at your disposal and you begin to watch. Remember the formula, the chemical equation formula for being wealthy is that your assets must be greater than your liability. Once you have this, what's called the formula, right, as like those expenses. For instance, let me give you a case study. If in a month you are earning, maybe a civil servant, you're earning over maybe like 150,000, and your expenses at the end of the month is 250,000. You know that in that context, your liability, that is those expenses you are doing, is far greater than your assets. That is the money coming into your pocket. Now, one funny thing about this topic we are discussing about assets and liabilities, that people tend to understand, kind of say the fact that okay, I'm working. Nobody disputing from not working. What we are all saying here in this training is that when the money coming in into your pocket is lesser than what you are expending every month, wherever you are living in, whether you are living in Nigeria, you are living in Africa, you are living in any part of the world, believe you me, poverty is what is knocking on your door. But when you have several assets, that is actually what there that makes it possible that your expenses, the asset is bigger than your expenses. That is the income coming in. You are heading for a very good ride in terms of being financially free. So I want to kind of use this medium to introduce you to a business that will actually change your life if you're in Nigeria watching this. Okay, that business is called telecommunication business. One of the things that I like in telecommunication business is that it is a business that actually give you the peace of mind, and it is something that does not require, maybe you need an office, you need this, you need workers and every other things. So this business is a very simple something. You engage in it, you have your own brand, where you have your own website where people can come in, subscribe and buy product at a cheaper price, where you resell giving the margin. So this business is a top notch and one of the greatest thing that you can ever build to create more asset revenue income stream for yourself. Remember, this country, which is Nigeria, is suffering a lot of crisis in terms of prices of commodities. Okay, so if you are watching me out there, this is a time you have to wake up to the reality and begin to explore other options. People always look at this way, okay, I'm doing business, I'm also engaging in, maybe I'm working, or better still, I'm being paid. Mind you that if you are working, your work is already guaranteed based on the time at which they need their services. But when you're engaging in something that has to do with your personal business, which has to do with that will give you that asset you are looking for. One of them is telecommunication business. My brother, my sister, you will be able to be at your financial control. So what are you waiting for? Chat up us on 08136367446. This line will be on WhatsApp and it is available 247. You can actually chat this line to get started. Remember, we're looking at how to actually try to add money to your what's it called, the money you already have. Okay, whether you're working as a civil servant, you need more multiple revenue income stream to overcome your what's called that chemical equation which I gave you in this particular tree, which is your assets must be greater than your liability. Okay, so it is just like one out of things you can do out there. Okay, the telecommunication business we're talking about is very low capital intensive. With at less than 50k, you can get started going for yourself a brand. Okay, our company is going to do the justice of design and developing and handing it over to you and begin to make money on a daily basis. So if you really need a maybe proof that whether this business is working, hit up us on WhatsApp, which is 08136367446. Our goal in this channel is for you to be financially free. That is just our goal. Apart from you raising a better family, having peace of mind and all that. So for you to be financially free, you need to understand those things that makes you money. Okay, so there is some benefits that you come across for you running telecommunication business as a side hustle or even as a full time. One of the greatest benefits is that it is everyday product. It is a product everybody is making use of. Whether you like it or not, you must be buying airtime, you must be buying data, cable, electricity. So that is the reason why the business can never go into saturation. So once you are into this business, trust in me, you are at the very speed lane of becoming financially free. So get started today by hitting up us on WhatsApp. There is going to be a link in the description of this video to get started, but you can also call 08136367446. This line is on WhatsApp and available to attend to you anytime of the day. Thanks and God bless.